So today's video is about another one of their tricks. In this case, it's a mechanism that they use to control what we talk about amongst ourselves. So I guess you could call it controlling the debate. And I guess that with that as well, you can talk about, if you can control the debate, you can control people's thinking. So the trick is what they do is that they set out a choice of two, what's called a binary choice. And they set out those two parameters at either end of this binary choice system. Some people will call that an Overton window, which is the boundaries of what's considered to be acceptable debate. And I definitely saw that at school. Kids are kind of, they're taught all about that. In schools, kids are taught that it's good to be critical thinkers. It's good to debate things. There are debating clubs. But the catch is that only certain views are deemed to be legitimate. Other views are not allowed to be aired and debated because they lie outside this window of acceptability, right? And the boundaries of this window on both sides are set by the powers that shouldn't be. So this goes on in adult life too, and it's about like corralling debate and as I say, our thinking, the way that we view the world. And I think it's extremely powerful. It works it has worked quite effectively for them. So what they want you to do is to pick one of their positions, or maybe some midway points. That's what they want you to do. Choose one of these two prepared positions. They own both sides, they've constructed both sides, and they just want you to pick one. And they love it if you debate within their parameters. And what I'm going to say now is that a true critical thinking is really about, can you think outside of their two pre-prepared positions? I know that there's this really horrible phrase about thinking outside the box. I remember when I was at school, there was this physics teacher who used to go on and on and on about it. And it was quite ironic, really, given that, like most physics teachers, like most science teachers that I ever met, the bloke was a nice guy, but completely incapable of any critical thinking at all. But what I'm saying here is that what we have to do is that if they want us to think that the answer is somewhere in between these two positions, what you can bet your bottom dollar on is that the true answer is somewhere outside of here. It's not going to be inside, it's going to be outside somewhere. You've got these two positions. The answer is something else, a third position outside of their controlled Overton window of acceptable debate. So what I'm going to do now is just talk about some examples of these binary choices that they've set up that they want you to debate. Obviously, there's an element here of divide and rule, isn't there? Get people, it might be here, might be Brexit, here might be Remain, yeah? So in that example, the out of the box option would be Britain hasn't left the EU. There has never been Brexit. There will never be Brexit. That the government of the UK is exactly the same. It's following exactly the same orders as the politicians in the EU follow. There is actually no difference at all. Both the British Parliament and the EU Commission serve the same masters. That would be the third way position. But for the plebs, what you're supposed to do is pick either Brexit or Remain, or some middle ground, some centrist position perhaps. Oh, I don't know, we'll leave the EU but maybe stay in the customs union, or some other complete nonsense. Another example where they definitely set up two sides for the benefit of people in the truth movement was James Delingpole, Toby Young, the London Calling podcast. Are you Team James or are you Team Toby? Or maybe are you somewhere in between? Let's have a really active debate on these two positions. So in that case, what's the truth? The truth is that they're both controlled. Another one would be globe Earth versus flat Earth. What's the truth? The correct answer is to say, well, I don't know, and does it matter which one it is? The earth, as Thomas Dolby once said, the earth can be any shape you want it to be. And, you know, what they want you to do is to pick one of these two positions and then laugh at the other side. Whilst you're arguing amongst yourselves, you know, they can get on with their evil agenda whilst you're distracted. It's sheeple distraction. Another classic one is like, I don't know, you know, is it virus? Or is it vitamin deficiency? You know, why? What? I'm not going to mention the names because it's just going to. This video's. I can't say stuff on YouTube, unlike other people. I just get pulled. So you've got this debate, haven't you? So what's the answer? What's the true? What's the out of the box kind of thought? It's basically, I don't know. Maybe something else has caused it. It might not be virus, and it might not be vitamin deficiency. It could be something else, like, I don't know, bacteria, for example. You know, I know if I leave a piece of cheese out or something, it'll go mouldy. I know that there's fungus about, and that can cause problems. So maybe a lot of these are maybe caused by not by virus or not by vitamin deficiency, maybe by something else. I don't know. But what they want to do is to get you into this this tunnel, right, of this or this. Pick one, but nothing else. You're not allowed to pick anything else, and we've got to reject that. Another classic one would be, you know, are you BBC or are you GB News? They want you somewhere in there, don't they? What's the solution? What's the third way? UK financial awareness. Please start making some videos again. That was a great YouTube channel, by the way. Then we got lab leak or bat soup. Debate that one, please, sheeple. What's the truth? Probably something completely, maybe then. This is what I'm saying to you, is that when they say this or this, you can be absolutely certain that it's neither of them, that the true answer will be something else. And this is how they manage to get away with things. By, you know, they try to think, well, to get you to think it must be this one or this one. And then, you know, most people will just rule out something else. But that requires that ability to think of a third option. It requires some truly independent thinking, doesn't it? Another one that's been around at the moment, petrol cars, EVs. What's the third way? No cars. You're not going to have either. Another one that's in the news a lot, pro-immigration, anti-immigration. What's the third option? Well, to look at the underlying cause, which is the welfare state and NHS. And maybe this is the problem, not you know, for or against immigration. Maybe the actual underlying problem is the welfare state and too many freebies that attract the wrong type of people into the country. And maybe we actually don't want to live inside a prison, which is actually what I think they want you to do. They either want you to select open borders and complete chaos with the welfare state, or they want you to select police state and maintain the welfare state. The correct option is the third option, is, well, maybe we could have open borders by just abolishing the welfare state, NHS and state education. Maybe that is a third option that no one's considering. You know, other ones that you've seen a lot in the last year or two is like NATO versus Russia, America versus China, Israel versus Palestine. Yeah, pick one. Pick. You know, they control both sides. The powers that shouldn't be, the Satanists, they want you to pick one of their pre-prepared positions and then engage in active debate with people who've picked the other side. Meanwhile, they got on with their business. What's the correct answer? What's the third position? Well, the third position is that the whole thing is fake and that there is no conflict. There is only coordination. That the governments and the politicians that run the governments are just puppets, and China and America are basically they're the same entity, just different flags and different anthem tunes. Same people, same goals. collusion, not conflict. Tell me some other examples of these pre-prepared positions and these Overton windows that they construct. You know, as I say, it's part of divide and rule and what we need to do. And it stops people from thinking too. It stops people from considering other options. It's like, oh, well, it either must have been a lab leak or it must have been the bat soup. And if they manage to construct that Overton window, that stops people thinking about other possibilities. So I would just say to my audiences, consider other factors that lie beyond this acceptable Overton window of debate. So please don't take part in their controlled debates where they own both sides of that debate. As I say, try to be independent and think of other possibilities beyond those that they present to you. And also make no mistake that, you know, people on Gulag Tube, famous names on Gulag Tube, you know, with subscribers of over 50k, most of those will be controlled, I would say. So that's all I want to say today. So God bless.